All right, and today we are going to talk about the murder houses. Yes! All right, so I'm going to pop up on the screen some information on the actual topic that we're talking about today. But in terms of. Oh, we could also do haunted hotels if you want, but murder houses seems kind of fun. There are some houses that nobody should ever live in. Alright, well, so that's that. Anyways, let's go and take a look at the victims of violence in Sharon Tate's house. Let's go and take a look at Sharon Tate's house. Yeah! Alright, I'm going to show you guys Sharon Tate's house. Sharon Tate is an American actress in the 1960s, apparently. Apparently that was a thing. Alright, let's see if you guys can see who I'm looking at. Sharon Tate's house. Sharon Tate house. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at today. This guy right here. Here we can just move her over. We can move the haunted stuff. I want to move the haunted stuff over, but oh well. That's okay. We can't, guys. Okay, so we have my house over here, which you can see, and we have Sharon Tate's house. Here she is. So, Sharon Tate, she was a crazy girl. No, okay. Let's see what she has to say to us. Okay, chat up. Let's see if I can get the chat up and running here. Alright, and chat. Let's see, open in browser. There we go. Hello everyone, how are you? Alright, let's make sure that it's actually going on. Yep, okay, it's doing good. Alright, so, maybe I shouldn't have this hat thing going on. Alright, but whatever, it's fine. Alright, so Sharon Tate's house was a spooky little place. And she was a couple weeks from having a baby with her husband, Roman Polanski. Can't pronounce the other guy's name. Frykowski. Frykowski was his name. And, let's see here. And, oh, he was an aspiring screenwriter. Okay, and Jay was a Hollywood hairstylist, and Steven, he was visiting the house as his caretaker. Oh, okay, so there were like some homicide detectives that came over, and like the whole scene was like crazy. Charles Manson. Oh, okay, so this is a Charles Manson story. Here, maybe if I can like angle it like this, you guys can see like me a little bit better. Yeah, this is much better. Hello. You can see me under the hats. Okay, so Charles Manson, he, as you guys know, is a cult leader, and basically they believe that he was Christ, and that they would have to like carry out orders that they gave him and everything, which is kind of crazy. And August 8, 1969, a follower who was called Tex, or Charles Watson, he went to a house on CeeLo Drive in Los Angeles, and he had to totally destroy everyone in it, as gruesome as you can. That's just what he did. And his fellow, Susan Atkins, she killed Tate because we wanted to do a crime that would shock the world, and the world would have to stand up and take notice. It's apparently what it was. Anna Watson, let's see here. Can I still get my Restream chat? Yes, I can. Hi. Maybe I have to message in it. There we go. That works. Okay. So, I guess him and a few followers, oh gosh, so they did this crime at this house, and it's just like part of like a cult, I guess. Watson took a few followers with him to the house. Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Casabian. Casa bien. Oh, Chief. Yes, it is where a huge murder happened. It's linked to the Charles Manson cult. I don't know if you know anything about Charles Manson, but he was like a cult leader. Basically, like, you know, brainwashed people and like made them believe that he was God, you know. Do what I say, even if it's like murdering tons of people. And so he brought a few people over. They arrived at midnight at the house, and they encountered Stephen Parent. Oh God, he was slashed and shot for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, right. So Parent actually was visiting the house for his caretaker, which is kind of interesting. And so the other guy that they were like killing with, he went to keep a lookout at the place's gates. I guess they had gates there, which is kind of interesting. And they went into the house with Atkins and Krenwinkel. So those two went in. So it's a girl. A girl was with them. They were like committing all these crimes and stuff in people's houses. Just because the cult leader said to, of course, which is crazy, man. Crazy! Alright, and once inside, they made the 4 people staying in the house gather in the living room. Okay, so they tied Tate and Sebring together, and of course, oh God, they were treating Tate roughly, and then he was shot. Folger and Frykowski were trying to escape, but they were both caught. Shot and stabbed, and Folger was stabbed. So Frykowski got 51 stab wounds, and Folger got 28. Tate was pregnant, apparently, and begged for the life of her baby, asking to be taken hostage so she could have it. And she was stabbed 16 times, unfortunately. Damn, that's so crazy. Just at this place alone, and there's this like star girl, like she looks pretty cool. And Caspian, after hearing the screams, came to the group and tried to cut the murder short by telling them that someone was coming. It didn't work. Afterwards, everyone was dead. Oh my God, the word pig was smeared all over the house in Tate's blood. That's so weird. People are weird, man. Another group of the Mansons continued their murderous spree, killing grocery store executive Lino LaBianca and his wife Rosemary. That's unfortunate. So if you guys want to see Charles Manson, he looks like a cult leader, kind of. Let's take a look at what he actually looks like, Charles Manson. That's crazy, man. Be careful of who you know. So this is the famous Charles Manson here. He's like a big cult leader, and he just told people to just go on killing sprees, and that's pretty much it, you know, like, oh, that's God's word, you know. That house over there, yes, just kill those people. That's all he said. And Sharon Tate. Let's see. I feel like there's some like kind of reason why he chose that place. So, oh gosh, there's a lot of people. It doesn't really mention much about Sharon Tate, but I know that like, oh yeah, so she was the one who was kind of more brutally murdered, I think, because they like used her blood and stuff to cover the doors, man. That's so crazy. All right, and yeah, that's messed up. But yeah, there's Sharon over there. She was the one who got murdered. Oh, she was the one. Yeah, she was the one who had the baby. Right, she was pregnant, I think. Oh yeah, she was pregnant, and then they used her blood to write the words pig on the door. But you know, Charles Manson's like, make the murder as gruesome as possible. And these people are like, yes, whatever you say, God, you know. It's like, oh my God, what a nightmare. And let's take a look at the victims of this murder right here. Sharon Tate's murder victims. Yeah, we got a whole thing right here. All right, these are them. Beautiful people. Yeah, so Sharon is the pregnant one over there, second to the left. And then the others were part of the house already, which is kind of crazy, man. It's so crazy. But that's how it was with, how do you say, Chris Manson? That crazy son of a bee. Interesting, huh? Yeah, that is messed up, man. That is messed up. So I was gonna say the names of the people he murdered, but I can't even pronounce them, so it's like some kind of like German thing. Huh. Alright, so oh, so Manson and his followers were finally arrested in October. Finally. Caspian, oh, she said, she basically said a testimony, for immunity, but, the others were given death sentences. 1972, California banned the death penalty, and their sentences were all commuted to life in prison and in lieu of death. Well, that's crazy. The CeeLo Drive house has been torn down, but a new one was put up, actually. Interesting. So the current owner is Dave Oman, and he swears that Tate and some other victims are unable to move on from their tragic grisly ends. So, like, I guess they kind of like, how do you say? They're kind of still there, which is crazy. And construction workers heard like voices and footsteps and like air blowing down their neck, stuff like that. That's like pretty much like the paranormal aspect of that place. But in addition to that, oh God, so the house was having like paranormal experiences even though it was already like taken down. And apparently Oman is the new owner of the house, and he saw like full body ghosts around his bed, like telling him to like go to the driveway, man, go over there. And he later saw a picture of Sabring, and he recognized Sabring as the ghost, apparently. And apparently like just normal like paranormal stuff, like objects fall on their own and they move. There were blood stains on a woman's dress without any cause. Oman heard Tate whisper to him, "I just want you to know we're here." Oh God, that's horrible. That's so scary. Ah, so scary. Alright. We're gonna take a look at a video. Let's take a look at a video of, what is it called? The Sharon Tate murder victims. Oh, forgot to YouTube it. YouTube, here we come. All right, here we go. O.J. Simpson, Sharon Tate's final moments before her death, and Manson murders, 18 plus only. Okay. Brutal killings. Charles Manson, reporters recall brutal killings. Interesting. How A young actress, Sharon Tate's life was cut short. Oh, that poor girl. And she was pregnant too. Corgi. Sharon Tate murder. Okay, let's see here. Back porch tapes. Okay, that is so crazy that that happened.
Other occupants and brings them to the living room with the assistance of Patricia Krenwinkel.
Oops, accidentally hit backwards. My bad. Sorry. Sorry.
Atkins film producer Wojtek Frykowski is the first guest to unexpectedly wake up on the living room couch. When Frykowski asked him who he was and what he was doing there, Watson replied, "I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's business." Going off Watson's further instruction, Atkins finds the house's 3 other occupants and brings them to the living room with the assistance of Patricia Krenwinkel. Watson began to tie Tate and Sebring together by their necks with the rope he had brought with him to facilitate his plan. Sebring begins to struggle and briefly protests the rough treatment of the pregnant Tate. Watson shoots and kills Sebring.
Oh, God.
Folger was taken momentarily back to her bedroom for her purse, out of which she gave the intruder $70. After that, Watson stabbed the groaning Folger 7 times until
that
she
looks
died.
like Halloween,
Frykowski's
man.
hands had been previously
Like,
bound with
literally,
a towel.
like,
Frykowski manages to free himself
you know,
and begins
when you,
struggling
like,
with Susan Atkins. Next, Frykowski struggles to move across the lawn after being stabbed and tormented by Watson. Watson murders Frykowski with a final frenzy of manic serial stabbings. Unbelievably so,
Okay, so this
Frykowski
is a
was
killer.
stabbed a total of 51 times by Watson. Charlie's followers were leaving nothing to chance and wanted the slayings to be as newsworthy and controversial as possible. Around this time, Linda Kasabian steps into the front entrance of the home from the driveway after hearing the, quote, horrifying sounds coming from Tate's home. In a vain and haphazardous attempt to halt the massacre, she told Atkins false information that a guard was coming. Inside the house, Folger had managed to escape from Krenwinkel's grip and fled out the bedroom door to the pool area. Folger was pursued to the front lawn by Krenwinkel, who ultimately catches, tackles, and stabs Folger. Watson then takes over for Krenwinkel and brutally stabs Folger a cumulative total of 28 times. Back in the main home, actress Sharon Tate pleads to be allowed to live long enough to have her baby, and even offered herself as a hostage in an attempt to save the life of her unborn child. Her killers ignored all pleas and cries from Tate. Never factually confirmed or documented, either Atkins, Watson, or both simultaneously killed Tate, stabbing her a total of 16 times. In initial confessions to cellmates, Susan Atkins would say that she killed Tate. In later statements to her attorney and before a grand jury, Atkins indicated Tate had been stabbed solely by Tex Watson. In his 1978 autobiography, Watson said that he stabbed Tate and that Atkins never touched her. Watson later wrote that Tate cried, "Mother, mother," as she was being murdered and passing away, her unborn child dying with her as a result of her fatal injuries. With all the murders now completed, Charlie's girls still had one more task to do before leaving the residence. Manson instructed them to, quote, leave a sign, something witchy. Using the towel that they had bound Frykowski's hands, Susan Atkins wrote "pig" on the house's front door in Tate's blood. This was an attempt by Manson to leave a sign of the impending racial war that was allegedly going to take place any day now. On their way back to the ranch, Tex and Charlie's girls changed out of their bloody clothes, discarded them in the Hollywood Hills, and disposed of their murder weapons. The Polanski's housekeeper, Winifred Chapman, had arrived for work that morning and discovered the bodies of all individuals. The next night, 6 Manson family members rode out per Manson's further instruction. Displeased by the panic of the victims at Shello Drive, Manson accompanied the 6 members to
he looks so crazy.
show them how to do it. After a few hours of endless driving, Manson considered a number of murders and even attempted one of them. Manson gave Kasabian directions that brought the group to 3301 Waverly Drive. According to Atkins and Kasabian, Manson disappeared up the driveway to the LaBianca's home and returned to say he had tied up the house's occupants. As Watson retells the events of that night, he claims Manson roused the sleeping Leno LaBianca from the couch at gunpoint and had Watson bind the husband's hands with a leather thong. After Rosemary LaBianca was brought briefly into the living room, Watson followed Manson's instruction to cover the couple's heads with pillowcases. The pillowcases were secured around their necks by using
But why though? Why? I don't know why.
Manson then allegedly instructs Krenwinkel and Leslie Van Houten to kill the bound-up husband and wife. Watson complained to Manson of the inadequacy of the previous night's weapons used on Tate and her guests. To maliciously elevate the gruesome factor, Watson went to the living room and began stabbing Leno LaBianca with a chrome-plated bayonet. A bayonet is a knife, sword, or spike-shaped weapon designed to fit on the end of the muzzle of a rifle or similar lengthy firearm. This transforms the blade of the knife into a spear-like weapon that allows the user to strike at a greater distance from their target. The first thrust went directly into LaBianca's throat, but sounds of a scuffle and
That's interesting. All right, let's add that. Let's add this in the background and have this in the background as a little memorial for the Tates. The Tates, man. Poor people. They killed them all. I don't need subtitles right now. Oh wait, I forgot. It's actually kind of gruesome. Apparently it's 18 plus, so I gotta take that off. We can do that for the next video though. Alright, so the Viscilla Axe Murder House. Viscilla. Let's go see Viscilla. Okay. So this is Viscilla Axe Murder House here. There we go. Viscilla! Alright. So Viscilla Axe Murder House. Here, I'll make myself bigger. Hi. Okay, so Viscilla. There we go. That might be better. Viscilla. Okay, let's start with her. So, oh, Viscilla is the name of a place, apparently. So Viscilla, basically nobody knew anyone. Oh wait, everybody knew each other, and they barely locked their doors at night, kind of thing. So there's it's called the Moore family, who were murdered, basically. Murdered! Alright, so it is a sleepy town in Iowa called Viscilla. Villisca! And Villisca, midnight on June 10, 1912. Basically someone came in with the axe that belonged to the husband of the house, and basically he just found it in the yard. He's just like, okay, I'm just gonna walk into this house with this axe right here. Oh god, he crept past a room where the two little girls, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were. They were sleeping over as guests. And he softly climbed the stairs and went into the bedroom of Joe and his wife, Sarah Moore. Basically, he lifted the axe so high that it scraped the ceiling. Jesus. And brought it flat down onto Joe's head. Joe died instantly, of course. Then before even Sarah could wake up, the killer got her. You know, his wife. And then he went into the other upstairs bedroom and found the four children, Herman, Mary, Boyd, and Paul. And they didn't struggle, of course. They were helpless, man. He was able to kill each child without waking anyone. And the two little girls, of course, he killed them at the bottom of the stairs. And he was still not done. And he brutalized their heads pretty much, that none of the faces were recognizable. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, literally everybody's asleep. I mean, that's like, I feel like kind of like a murderer's dream, is just to like quietly go in there and do your business and then leave. Oh, God. Like, no fuss. Nobody wakes up. Damn, he's like super quiet. And basically he covered the heads that were brutally, you know, messed up, with sheets and clothes. And then he went, he got a bowl of water. Oh wait, what? Okay, this is really weird. He covered the house with mirrors. No. He covered the mirrors. He went and covered the mirrors. And then he got a bowl of water and washed his hands, and then he left. I don't know why he was covering the mirrors. That was weird. And then he like went on a train and then went on to his home in town. So today, the Basilica Axe Murder House is very haunted. It's restored back to how it was in 1912, and people can tour the house and even stay overnight. Martha Lynn, who's the current owner of the house, says that guests play with the children. They hear voices and they get pictures of anomalies. That's interesting. In 2014, oh God. One guest suffered from a self-inflicted stab wound to the chest while he was alone in one of the upstairs bedrooms shortly after midnight, which was the time of the murders. That's interesting, huh? Mists have been recorded on night vision cameras. Things move on their own. There's screams. Flashlights apparently turn on and off if you ask the ghosts to prove they were there. And there's so much paranormal activity that it's easy to see why it's haunted. That's crazy. Viliska. So literally, did they catch the guy? Honestly, can I see? I don't know. Did they catch the guy? Murder house. Victim. Murder. Who did it? Is it this guy? Nobody found him? Murdered in their beds. Basilica. Basilica. No, Basilica. Don't die on me now. Oh, it's a cold case. Oh my God, the guy got away. What? How could you do that? I mean, I guess it was 1912, but still. Damn, man. That's crazy. It's madness. Very quick, very quiet. Quick and quiet man. He did not want anyone to know that he was killing all these people. That's for sure. Oh. Let's see. Lock your doors. Oh, I see. Man, I can't see that you were messaging. Huh, interesting. I don't know why, like, some of it isn't loading for me. That's odd. Oh, well. But yeah, that was a cool story. What else? Gee, I would go longer, but I have class soon. But the next one we'll talk about is Lizzie Borden's house, for sure. But I wanna see if there's like a little video on this before we go. Let's see. I'll be on tomorrow, by the way. Hopefully 12, if not 1. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Dossman. How are you? All right, let's see. Let's try to do, and I'll also be on longer too, probably. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably from 12 to 5. What else? I'm looking up this thing to see if there's anything about the Basilica murder house. Damn, that's such a scary story. I mean, okay, I never knew anything about Charles Manson though, but now I do. He's a nutcase. He's a nutty boy. Basilica. Oh, you get a tour? That's cool. Let's tour. Let's tour this place, guys, together, you and me. Hold on, I know that you guys can't see it.
4 or 5 vehicles.
Oh, your name. Oh, I haven't done yours yet, Up Chief. I'll do it though. I'll do it soon. There's Annabelle. So basically, like, this is an actual tour of the house that they got murdered in, which is horrible if you think about it. But I want to see, like, actually what people have to say about it.
This led some to speculate that the killer was swinging the axe around in a crazed frenzy. Sarah Moore was the only one who had obvious slices in her unrecognizable face from the sharp end of the weapon. The rest of the victims had been beaten to death with the blunt end of the axe. The parents had their heads struck at least 20 to 30 times, and there was evidence that the killer had gone to their room twice. After the murderer delivered the fatal blows to everyone's heads, they went to the parents' rooms to do more damage. Josiah Moore was crushed completely from his upper jaw and up. There was blood, brain tissue, and skull fragments spread all over the top.
I wonder if someone had something
bed's
against the
headboard.
family.
In the guest room, Lena Stillinger was hanging a third of the way out of the bed, her nightgown pulled up above her waist, and her underwear thrown under the bed.
Oh,
Murder
God.
sites were easy to reach if you were traveling by train. Many of
Oh
the
yeah, they
axe
say
murders
that
were
the
done
guy
the
just
same
literally
way,
picked up an
with
axe
whole
in the
families
backyard,
being
went in their
killed and
house, killed a whole bunch of
bludgeoned with the
people,
blunt
and then
end
went
of
on the
axe.
train.
Two
Nobody
finished
even
cigarettes
woke
had
up.
been found in the
It was
attic
such a silent
to kill the
murder.
Moores.
Nobody
William
woke up.
Mansfield became a suspect of the Villisca murder, responsible for the Villisca murders, as well as 22
People
other
thought,
axe
okay,
murders,
people thought it was him.
bitter that they didn't talk to each other whenever they crossed paths in town. There was also a rumor, which had never been proven, that Josiah had an affair with Frank's daughter-in-law, which added contention to their already soured relationship. Frank became part of a theory that he had hired William Blackie Mansfield to kill the Moores. William Mansfield became a suspect of the Villisca murders 2 years after they happened, when he was suspected of killing his own wife, infant, and father and mother-in-law with an axe. He was also believed to have committed axe murders that took place in Paola, Kansas. The one who blamed him for the murders was Detective James Newton Wilkerson from the Burns Detective Agency of Kansas City, who had pieced together a story with the rumors of the town against Jones. Mansfield's family was found bludgeoned, axe wiped clean, mirrors and windows covered with clothes, and lamps on the floor by the bed. However, Mansfield was acquitted of the charges when his payroll records proved he was in Illinois.
They were all
during the time of
drugged.
the Villisca murders.
Really?
Mansfield later sued Detective
I mean, I guess you couldn't
Wilkerson,
tell in
who
that
received
time. What is it, 1914 was it?
Several months after the Villisca killings, a man named Henry Moore, who had no relationship to the Moore family, was
Yeah, but there were
convicted for
two
the
little
murder
girls
of
who were
his mother and
visiting, though.
grandmother in Columbia, Missouri, after killing
Like
them
guests.
with an axe. A federal investigator believed he was responsible for the Villisca murders, as well as 22 other axe murders across the country. While he was never found guilty of the Villisca murders, he served 36 years of a life sentence for the killing of his mother and grandma. Andy Sawyer was one of the suspected transients. He traveled around looking for work and eventually found a bridge foreman and pile driver and asked him for a job. He was hired on the spot. However, his behavior made his employer and the rest of the work crew worry. Andy had bought a newspaper to read by himself with the Villisca murders on the front page.
Yeah.
He seemed very interested in the case and talked quite a lot about it. He also slept fully clothed while gripping his axe that he used to work the railroad. He apparently told the bridge foreman personally that he had been in Villisca that Sunday night when the murders took place and left town fearing he'd be suspected since he was new there. The bridge foreman turned him into authorities, but there was no real evidence linking Sawyer to the killings. It was also discovered that he had been arrested due to vagrancy in Osceola, Iowa when the murders happened. Another prime suspect in the Villisca murders was Reverend George Kelly. Reverend Kelly and his wife arrived in New York from England in 1904. He was a traveling preacher who preached across the U.S. at country churches. Kelly was well known as a sexual deviant who had mental problems.
Oh, God.
He was seen peeking through windows, and he had already been arrested for writing lewd letters to women who first wrote to him in response to a job offer. Reverend Kelly was a
That
guest
is
at the
so
church
messed
Morgan
up.
went to
Oh
on
my
the night of
God.
the Children's Day program. The following morning, he He had left
He
by train
would
around
write
5:19
lewd
a.m.
letters to someone
When
who
he
was
heard
trying to
about the
apply for a
murders,
job.
he became very interested
Oh
in them,
God.
almost obsessed.
That is messed
In the
up.
following weeks, he started writing letters to authorities and family members asking about details of the murder. He even visited the crime scene and joined a team of investigators who just happened to be there at the same time. Some investigators thought it was strange how into the case he was, so a detective named Tom O'Leary wrote a letter back to him, asking him for details on the murder. Reverend Kelly's reply seemed far-fetched. He claimed to have been walking past the Moore's house when he heard the thud of the axe. He claimed the killer was disturbed by a couple walking by and had stepped out onto the porch
Alright,
until
guys.
they had packed.
I will see you guys later. I do have class soon, so I will probably see you tomorrow 12 to 5 or maybe 1 to 5-ish. I'll try to keep it constant if possible. Try to see what days are good, what days aren't. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.